they be fighting on the same card and not be fighting each other? It just makes no sense.
You know that old Mario film where they had the Goombas? Look at the old Mario film with Luigi and they had like the Goombas are like Goomba.
Ottowallin gave Tyson Fury probably his hardest fight, bar maybe McDermott. Is that Frank's been going on so much every flipping day about Conor Ben this, Conor Ben that, all these other fighters pop in. Oh yeah. How can this happen? And yet he's happy for Big Baby Miller, who's juiced up to his eyeballs.
It's risky, isn't it?
That's Southpaw, blood. Doesn't do well with Southpaw.
Stay away from Southpaws.
Yeah.
I fought him when I first started boxing, pretty much. I didn't have many fights. He didn't have many fights. We fought. I lost a close decision. We fought again a couple years after, England versus Sweden. He won a close decision again. Then we sparred in 2016 before he fought Charles Martin. And I think, honestly, Joshua, he was on his way up. He's a very good fighter. He was a very good fighter at that time also. And, you know, I pretty much feel like he had his peak maybe around 2018. Now I feel like he's on his way down, on his way out, and I'm going to help him with that, and I'm going to win this fight.
People talking about you've peaked, people talking about this might be...
People talking about I peaked have never even seen what a peak looks like in their whole career, so I don't know what they're talking about, number one.
Welcome to another episode of Bloodlust Boxing. I'm Sav.
And I'm Baz.
Today's episode, can WALLIN put a dent in the fight between AJ and Wilder? But everyone wants to see. Let's have a chat about it, Baz. But before we get into it, what weekend of boxing?
Oh, it's been a busy one.
It's a bit unexpected. We had the Magnificent Seven on TNT Sports with frankwarren. We had the Boxer card. And then there was the DAZN card with Pacheco fighting. I mean, you saw the Azim fight, didn't you? How did you rate that one?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad fight, actually. I'll be honest with you. I thought Azim would get the business done a bit quicker.
European belt, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I was the European, yeah. He's a quality fighter. He's a slick operator. He reminds me of like a young Amir Khan in that he's fast. He's got that punch power.
He's got good movement though, isn't he?
Yeah. He carries. I'm surprised how much power he carries for his weight class, to be honest.
Yeah, he's trained by Shane McGuigan as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
They definitely rate him highly. But also on the other bill, frankwarren pulled it off like a Magnificent Seven. Great fights on there.
I know, and I think was it at Manchester Arena?
I think it was in Manchester Arena.
Yeah, it looked busy.
Yeah, I think what they did was they probably pulled everyone a bit more forward, but the crowd was definitely jumping. And some of the fights on there, like I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. You had the Liam Davies fight versus Le Ferreira. That was a great fight.
Yeah,
and the amount of times Liam Davies put him down, the Italian just kept coming. I mean, every knock, like he was knocked down twice, but there was a clear difference in the technical ability between the two. And Liam Davies just the class shone through there, even though he was put down himself in that fight. But
yeah, it was end to end though, wasn't it?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. And then you had the Solomon Dakers fight versus Webster.
What do you think about that? How'd that go?
That was probably one bit more for the purists in a way, because there wasn't a lot of action, but then you still felt that there might be a knockout in there. Solomon Dakers, I don't know, man. He's just.
How'd you feel about Dakers? I mean, from his last fight,
I think that fight should have probably been a draw, and I probably actually had Webster winning it because he was using the jab a lot better, to be honest. But yeah, Dakers, he's not really living up to the potential. He's got clear technical ability, but he seems to fade off in fights. He seems to come disinterested. He doesn't really have that punch power.
I don't think he's got the stamina for it as well. I'll be honest with you. I think he's doing something wrong in training camp, because
I don't know. He paces it quite well. I think he brings everyone's
pace down to
his level, and he slows it right down the fights. But then it doesn't quite make for great fights. So. Yeah, I don't know about that, but he just signed with Queensberrypromotions, didn't he? And he's got out straight away with them. But yeah, there's probably reasons why Matchroom let go, or at least why they didn't renew the contract. So, and then you had the Nathan Healy fight. That was a cracker as well. He against Denzelbentley. Denzelbentley just looked so uninterested in that fight, didn't he?
He did. I was quite surprised because I really thought Denzelbentley would come out swinging.
It reminds me of the early days with Chris Smith, with just sticking behind the jab and not getting too greedy and just boxing to a game plan, really. But yeah, I'm happy for him. Like he stuck to a plan. He had a lot of Stoke fans in there, massive support.
Yeah.
And like when everyone came out was it Delilah? Oh wow, the crowd. That was amazing. Got me going.
You know what really got me irritated though is the commentators again. His mustache.
He had a good mustache. I'm guessing it's from November, but yeah.
The commentators again were just going at it like every 2 minutes. It was Denzelbentley. But all I was seeing was his work most of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what fight they were watching, but it's always the way. The favourite always gets the commentators on side and
gets the push, don't they? But I'm glad the right man won. I don't know. Denzelbentley just totally didn't look interested at all. The corner work, the comparison between the two was massive. In Nathan's corner, the trainer was constantly speaking to him, and the clear instructions. He was geeing him up when he needs to, tell him to be calm when he needs to.
He's a former Rocky trainer.
But then they complete contrast on the other side, and I think it was a Peacock gym training out of, but it was very quiet. I don't know if there was an injury there or something. I don't want to take it away from anything from Nathan Heath, but they were very quiet in that corner. It's almost like they thought they were going to steal a victory.
I think they thought they was going to walk over him. That's honestly what I thought.
Yeah, and I think there was rumours that if he got through Bentley, then he would be fighting Janibek. So in a big fight. So
yeah,
maybe they thought that was nailed on, and they thought Uncle Frank would smooth it over with a.
Couldn't smooth this one over.
Nah, but I'm glad the right man won there. And then you had the Nick Ball fight as well. From going to
again,
that was a great fight. Yeah, fighting Isaac Dogba, and that was like it looked like Nick Ball could go at some points, but then so did Isaac Dogba. Like it was ferocious fight.
He's like a pit bull, isn't he? Nick Ball.
yeah, and there was a couple of times he got in trouble, but he was varying the head height quite well. So instead of just leaving his head on one position, he was lowering it down. He was moving. He's making it difficult to get caught on the counter. But I think something you probably need to look at is the footwork a little bit. There was a couple of times he looked like he was
a little bit off balance.
Yeah. But great weekend of boxing. You had the Shooker Stevenson's fight earlier in the week. And I still haven't seen it, but the reports weren't great on that one. It apparently didn't light up the scene.
Yeah, I wasn't that interested, I'll be honest with you, from what I heard.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get to why everyone is here. We've rabbited on enough. Can Ottowallin dent Anthony Joshua's chances of fighting Wilder? Which is what we all wanted to see, that Wilder fight, and it's not happening. I mean, are you annoyed that it's not happening, Baz?
You know what? I was at first. When I saw it, I was like, how can they be fighting on the same card and not be fighting each other? It just makes no sense. Yeah. And being on a Saudi card as well, you think all that money is there. Why can they not get the money behind for it?
Because both fighters are going to, I guess, for that Wilder versus AJ fight, both fighters would be looking like, what, 30, 40, 50 million each. Something crazy like that.
I don't know if they had it in the kitty yet.
Yeah, and maybe they didn't want to commit to that because after the Tyson Fury fight versus Ngannou, the rumors were that the numbers weren't great in the US. And I'm guessing from a business point of view, they want to probably see how the fighters do before they commit to such a big outlay.
You think they're trying to see what Joshua's gain is, like what his draw is,
what his value is. Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think his value is, Sub? Do you reckon he's got more value than Tyson Fury?
I don't know. Previously, I was saying Tyson Fury definitely upped his value by doing all the additional stuff like the wrestling and the books and the Furiosity. And jumping up on the cards behind Tommy Fury and those Misfits ones. But yeah, I thought he would have done bigger numbers. I'm a bit surprised that some of the numbers reported in the US. I'm not sure how accurate they are.
I'm not surprised. No one wanted to pay for that Ngannou fight.
No one was expecting.
The card
was good. It was a good card. Yeah. No one can say that wasn't a good card.
It's true. It's true.
And that's what they've done with this fight as well. Well, of fights, there's massive, massive card. So if you haven't already seen it already, from where have you been?
What have you been doing with your life?
So we've got Wilder versus Parker, and we've got Joshua versus Wallin. We don't know who's going to headline yet. That's going to be one of the interesting ones.
Yeah, I don't know where. How can they not announce that off the bat? That's what I'm wondering. They must know. Wilder and Joshua must know. There's no way that must have been in some contract somewhere.
Maybe they're gonna like throw it up in the air and just be like, all right, whoever's willing to do the most promotion can get to headline or something. Because I'm guessing AJ's probably gonna want to lock himself away a little bit now and do like
went to a dark room. Is that what you're saying?
not in a dark room. He's done that, but get fully on it and try and avoid any further slip ups. Yeah, maybe if Wilder's willing to do a bit more promotion, I might give him that headline spot. I don't know. So yeah. I mean, looking at the rest of the cards, I mean, as quick as we can, given that the different things going on there, we've got Daniel Dubois versus Jarrellmiller. How do you feel about that, Baz? Daniel Dubois versus Miller, big baby Miller, pharmacy.
He runs a store out the back of the house.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about that one?
How can they allow this? Like, this is the thing that pees me off the most is that Frank's been going on so much every flipping day about Conor Ben this, Conor Ben that, all these other fighters pop in. Oh yeah. How can this happen? And yet he's happy for big baby Miller, who's juiced up to his eyeballs, to come onto a fight card. I mean, what's that about?
And he's been caught so many times. Like I think he's been caught 2 or 3 times, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So after the Joshua
come
fight,
off a ban and then got another ban.
He came off the Joshua fight. He tested positive for so many different substances, and then he was due to have another fight after that, and he tested positive again for something. So yeah, it's disgusting. For the amount of drugs he had in his system when he got chucked out of that AJ fight, it should have been a minimum 5-year ban. Instead, I mean, he's disappeared for a couple of years. Yes.
I don't care, bro. I don't care.
But
we said, didn't we? We said in one of our previous videos, he's the prime example for someone who should have got permanently banned.
Yeah. Because it's not a case of, it was a tainted supplement or as an accident or anything like that. He had been injecting drugs into his system.
Yeah, and there were solid peds. Like, it's not something he could hide. Like,
and it all made sense. I mean, everyone was looking at his engine and everyone kept saying, for such a big guy, who, who's not, he had a bit of a belly around him as well. I mean, he's quite dense. How he was able to keep throwing that many punches, and then now we know why. But,
exactly. You know what? I fear for Daniel Dubois. Like I want Daniel Dubois to win just for the boxing, like for the sake of boxing. Like he's the people's hero now. That's.
I think a lot of people with him. Actually, in some ways, it's a master stroke for frankwarren, because so many people are going to be wanting Daniel Dubois to win that fight, and where he lost a few fans,
he's gonna get some backing.
He's going to get a lot of backing from the public just to finish Jarrellmiller off. Because How
do you rate his comebacks though? Like.
Yeah,
I don't know where Daniel's been hanging out, but I don't think he's got a lot of banter with his mates, has he? Like...
I think he needs to go to that same school that Joe Joyce went to. In that advert when he's like, there's that advert of him when he's like learning how to give comebacks. Joe Joyce. I think Daniel Dubois needs to go to that school and he needs to study hard, because his comebacks were not great. He didn't have a clue what was going on, did he?
No. The fact that Uncle Frank was having to fight his corner was the worst. Like
I thought Joshua was going to jump in at one point and be like, no. Don't worry. But Daniel, don't worry, Daniel. I've got this. Let me get him for you.
Oh, bro.
But in some ways, that might be his thing, because Jarrellmiller's not going to be able to get in his head. So
And to be fair, he's quite like a well-spoken
fighter, isn't he? Yeah.
Polite fighter. He's not really someone to give it every time, is he? Like, so I mean, he can't, obviously.
I just it's really bad, but I still got that image in my head, you know. And I saw a comment somewhere in one of the videos, and they they like Daniel Dubois to, like, you know, that old Mario film where they had the Goombas. Look at the old Mario film with Luigi, and that the Goombas are like Goomba.
I'm so confused.
If you know, you know, but if you don't worry.
Yeah, I ain't got a clue.
I feel bad. But yeah, I think that's what they're called anyway. But anyway,
but either way, I think we're without.
We want Daniel
for
Daniel Dubois smash. Yeah, we want him to smash Jarrellmiller and finish him for all, because as I said, he shouldn't be boxing. He should be out of the sport completely. And
that's it.
You know, and if I saw him, I would tell him behind a very high wall. Anyway, let's get back into it. We've got Dimitri Bivol versus Lyndon Arthur. That's a good fight, but at the same time,
is Lyndon Arthur past his best now?
Past his best.
I
don't know what his best is.
Well, I would say probably against Anthony Yard. That's probably his best we've seen him. Anthony Yard won, because I think they fought twice, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then Anthony Yard won the second fight.
Yeah, but Yard wasn't in the right space.
He wasn't. But I feel like Lyndon
Arthur got behind the jab. He did a good job. And he made sure he done the job.
And obviously his last fight, he won a title, but he won it by a stroke of luck, realistically, because it was one punch. Otherwise, the rest of the fight, he was losing it.
Yeah,
so
he didn't look great, to be honest. I think he's probably peaked, honest. Yeah, I don't see.
But fair play to him. He took this on like 3 days' notice, from what I've heard. I mean, it's against Bivol, man. I mean, I feel sorry for him.
Well, and then the other thing as well, and Andy Clark picked up on it when he was doing the commenting on you know, when they were doing the show, getting everyone together. He said to Lyndon Arthur, you look like you got a little bit of a limp, any injuries? And then
that's true.
Yeah, and Lyndon Arthur kind of shrugged it off a little bit.
And then, he didn't want to give excuses, did he?
No, and I think it's going to be one of those things whereby the fight happens, Bivol does what he does, and they say, well, actually, there was an injury. We couldn't turn down the fight because of the money involved, and that's what they try and say. I think
he just wanted a payday, didn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, you can't blame him. You can't blame him. He's a prize fighter, I mean.
You don't know when this opportunity is going to come around again.
Exactly.
You've got to go for it. But at the same time, if you know you're going to be at 70%, 60%, then you don't do that against Bivol. You wouldn't risk it, because a class above the rest. You know, beat Canelo, obviously.
He looked insane in his last fight.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a one-way street, that one.
Yeah.
Lyndon Arthur. Jaiopetaia versus Ellis Soro. I mean, Opetaia he's come out of that victory versus Jordan Thompson. He had a cracking fight there. There's kind of rumors we've heard about on that card about certain things, but we can't go into it. But Jaiopetaia, put in a massive performance on that one. He gained a lot of British fans, and massive fan from me.
Definitely.
Yeah. But Ellis Soro, he won that card, didn't he? It was like that knockout tournament, didn't he?
I remember watching it. I can't remember the name of the tournament, to be fair. But no, Soro did really well. Again, I feel like he's a little bit of a fish out of water in this competition. Like,
it feels like he's jumping a couple of steps, doesn't it?
I feel like he needed a few more fights. I can't help it.
Between it almost feels like that Jordan Thompson one, where he's kind of missed those stages in between before getting to an Opetaia. And I think there might be a bit more about Ellis Soro. I've got a feeling he could
have something in a closet that we don't know.
Yeah, and the good thing with him is he won't be fighting to make weight, I don't believe. Like, I mean, every fighter does a little bit, but not as much as Jordan Thompson was, because there was
he should have been fighting at heavyweight, realistically. I mean, for his height and his weight. Yeah.
And then we've got Hrgović versus Mark Demori. Good to see Hrgović out again. I don't know what the plan is with him, because he wants that title shot, doesn't he? And it's almost kind of like they keep him in sweet by keeping him on this card.
This is it.
Maybe he doesn't make too much noise, because
you have to say it what it is. It's literally just a gimme fight, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And
no offense to Demori, but he's not up to this.
I believe it might have split with Wasserman as well. Yeah, I believe the contract's ended. I think we need to double check that, but I think that's what I heard. So, because he had some kind of a link up with Wasserman and matchroomboxing. It feels like that Wasserman element side of it's ended. I don't know if the matchroom side of it's ended, but Yeah, and then we've got Makhmudov on there versus Ajit Kabayel. That'll be a good fight. Makhmudov doing great in the last fight, and then Frank Sanchez versus Junior Farr. Junior Farr coming in from New Zealand as well. You can see what they're doing, can't you? Because they've got a big group of people from around the world. You've got Joseph Parker from New Zealand, Junior Farr, you've got Jaiopetaia. It's clear they want to hit those different demographics around the globe. It's very smart, really, from a business point of view. You're spreading your fighters out. You're going to maximize their viewership. You know what? It's good. It's good business, Baz. Good business.
It's good business stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you got at least like 8 of the top 10 in that lineup.
Right.
Stuff.
We've talked a lot on here, and we haven't really got into it with regards to that AJ fight. It's risky, isn't it?
That southpaw, bruv, doesn't do
say?
well with southpaws.
Stay away from southpaws.
Yeah. Listen, Ottowallin gave Tyson Fury probably his hardest fight, bar maybe McDermott. And that cut, really, Ottowallin should have won that fight. That fight should have been called off. Tyson Fury.
Surprising that the ref didn't stop it. And I think any other fight, they would have stopped it.
Yeah. So Tyson Fury was very lucky. Now, that's only Ottowallin's only loss. He's not really a knockout artist.
He's kind of been avoided since then, hasn't he, really?
Yeah.
By the big guys.
But fair play to him. He took on Gassiev. In his last fight.
Yeah, great
win over
him.
him.
That was in Turkey, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, you can't help but fancy his chances a little bit.
But on the flip side, I'm liking AJ's mentality. He's fired up. Yeah.
Miller's got him heated.
Yeah, and then there was a couple of things that Wallin said as well, with him saying he's peaked, and I think that set AJ off. I like the fact that he's.
Actually, you reckon that got him heated though, or do you reckon it was all for show?
I think it's the Millers. I think the Miller being in the room put him in that frame. Like, I'm just gonna.
And then after that, it's like, I'm not taking that in.
and I think there was a bit of a tactical thing there from Warren. Another thing, I know we said with Danieldubois, but I think by getting Miller on the card, he knows that's going to rile up AJ. It's going to help to sell the fight. It might throw AJ off a little bit as well. Maybe that's what he's hoping for, because
I think that's what they were hoping with the Dev Sarni thing as well. And, I mean, fair play to AJ. Like, he's got his boys back. Eddiehearn.
He's kind of took back a little bit of control, didn't he? He's kind of like, I'm going to give it to like my promoter Eddiehearn, and got him to ask the questions.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, they should have given a bit more of a role to Eddie, I feel like, because at the end of the day, he started it all off. They can't say Frankwarren started the Saudi fights off, because that was him.
Well, it's interesting, that whole thing, isn't it? Because initially you had Eddiehearn, who had that hook up, didn't he? And then now Frankwarren's got it. Is there a thing there maybe that Eddiehearn and Matchroom and them lot got maybe a bit too greedy, and they were kind of like, actually, you lot are asking for way too much?
Maybe.
And they brought Frankwarren in.
I don't know. You don't know how much influence the skills challenge lot in Saudi Arabia at the time. Maybe they only had a smaller part of the pie, and most of the money was coming from Turkey. Yeah,
Turkey Ali Sheikh. We forgot to say thank you to him at the beginning of
sorry. I mean, thanks, Turkey, for setting us up.
Putting up the fight.
That's it.
Setting up the card.
It's going to be game changer.
I mean, we've thrown a lot out there, but do you feel like this card's a good card overall? Because there's been some criticism of it, but the fact that it's not AJ versus Wilder. We've had Catchall on there going at it with Frankwarren. There's a video that's gone out today. I need to have a quick look at it. But he's, I think, been slamming the card. Do you think
you can't get upset with this card, Sub?
No.
You can't. I mean, if you're actually a boxing fan, there's no way you can, because there's so many good fights on it, and at the end of the day, it's not actually been a bad year for boxing. As much as like we want, I mean, okay, we haven't had maybe the top 4 fight it out with each other yet, but I mean, that's to come. Usyk versus Tyson Fury, if it happens, then that's gonna happen. Wilder versus AJ. AJ wants a title now. That's it. I don't think he wants to fight Wilder just yet.
Oh, that's controversial.
Yeah, man, he's going for that. Is it the IBF title?
Yeah, he's going down that route. I guess by beating Wallin, he gets pushed.
Well, this is it. He gets pushed to mandatory. So then he'll fight Hrgovic.
What are you saying? He doesn't want to fight Wilder next?
Nah, man, we're not saying that.
Well, that's what you're saying, isn't it?
I'm just saying the title's more important at the minute. I think Wilder's still up there, but I think he wants to get the IBF title.
Yeah.
And become a 3-time champ.
I think he does. As much as he said he didn't want it before, I think he does want to get those belts back. But I think, you know what? It's better him staying away from the belts, because as soon as you get into that thing, you kind of locked in with the mandatories. Yeah. You kind of...
And unless your name's Tyson Fury, you can't avoid them. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think it's a great card. I'm happy with it. I think obviously it would have been better if we were getting the Wilder versus AJ fight, but I can understand what they're doing here, because if it does well, you get Wilder getting through his fight and AJ getting through his fight, then you're going to set up a massive fight between Wilder and AJ. They're obviously going to call each other out after that one. Whoever goes last, last or first. Whoever headlines is going to jump in, provided they both do the job. But definite banana skins in there. Parker's not such.
This is what we haven't really gone over the Joseph Parker Wilder. We'll have to do that in a separate video.
He's on his way back. Yeah, I think we have to smash that out on another video. But there's so much going on the cards, dynamics of boxing. It's interesting to see. But as long as everything happens, then we'll be happy. I've got a feeling, I'll throw it out there, I think at least maybe 1 or 2 fighters on that card will end up dropping out by the time we get there.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 fighters may drop out.
Who do you think is going to drop out? Come on, just give us a little quick one. Makhmudov?
I think you might see that Lyndon Arthur fight. Lyndon Arthur drop out.
You reckon?
I think if it's not going great, I reckon Pat Barrett will pull out Lyndon Arthur. I don't. If he's still not right. And
what are you saying? Dan Aziz is going to jump in? Is that what you're saying? Boazzi. Imagine.
You never know. Anthony Yard might be training in the background. Frankwarren, that could be the. It could be the old.
Imagine.
Could be the bait and switch. Like, Arthur pulls out. Anthony Yard's in the background, throws him in, gets the element of surprise. It was all.
Can't pull out King Arthur like that.
Anthony Yard gets another title shot. That's 3 in the last couple of years. So yeah, it could happen. Anyway.
You heard it here first, lads.
And, if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Welcome to all those new subscribers. Keep it coming.
Peace.